We begin right now, though, with the preparations here at a mega church in Phoenix, Arizona, preparing for Donald Trump's political reopening. These efforts to hold campaign rallies as if things are back to normal. And as you know, and as people saw at that other rally, in terms of public health, as well as the political reaction, this is not normal. It's not even working. It's not going as President Trump had hoped. This second rally, which again is about to tee off, you're looking at these live pictures, is in a coronavirus hotspot. It's the second rally Trump has held in 4 days, and it's already drawing concern for what we see, what you and I are watching together as the news unfolds inside the venue. You could see some masks. There's one in an American flag on the left of your screen, but you also see a lot of people not only without masks, which can be acceptable if you're far apart or outside, but really jammed in pretty close here, hanging out, talking, socializing. We also have footage of people who are basically knee to knee in some cases. This is all happening right now. This is America. And this follows what reporters and cameras caught just earlier today. Long lines of Trump supporters, also with very few masks in sight. Local guidelines require more social distancing than what you see there, as does Donald Trump's own coronavirus task force. That is, of course, a group of medical experts that the nation relies on for exactly these kind of calls. Some of them facing Congress today, and you can see the contrast here and how they presented with masks and social distancing to what you see in Phoenix, Arizona, shaping up for tonight. They were following the guidelines. Now, as for the news, Dr. Fauci testifying about hope for a vaccine that could come within 6 months. He also mentioned the surge in several states, including Arizona.
In other areas of the country, we're now seeing a disturbing surge of infections that looks like it's a combination, but one of the things is an increase in community spread. And that's something that I'm really quite concerned about. That the next couple of weeks are going to be critical in our ability to address those surgings that we're seeing in Florida, in Texas, in Arizona, and in other states.
And here's a little riddle. Do you know when the next several weeks begin? Right now. That's how it works. This will affect the next several weeks in Arizona and elsewhere. And we can tell you the cases are surging 30% up from just a week ago. A reminder that even if people are, understandably, tired of all of this, you might be, your friends might be, I might be. And that's the feeling. That's fine. Exhausted, fatigued, over it. You can have the feeling. But let's be clear about the facts and the science. That feeling, which you can process, does not mean and does not tell you anything about whether this is going away. It's not. Indeed, in many places around the nation, the worst would appear to be ahead, according to the science and the charts. And the geography shows the virus is hitting more rural states. Here's the surge in Arizona. Today, the state reporting, as the president arrives, a single-day record of over 3,500 new cases, as well as 42 more deaths. The state total surpasses the 58,000 cases and over 1,300 deaths that we have been charting. The city's mayor, meanwhile, saying Trump's event won't adhere to CDC guidelines the way it's being executed right now, as we just showed you. Meanwhile, back in Tulsa, attendees of the Phoenix event signing this waiver to attend, acknowledging the health risks. Several Republican governors, including in hotspot states like Texas and Florida, breaking with Trump to sound the alarm as they deal with what they call spreading at an unacceptable rate and the acceleration of people testing positive. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.